Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're taking a concept you probably use all the time and completely flipping it on its head. We're pulling back the curtain on the real psychology and philosophy of karma. We're going to step totally away from that pop culture myth of some mystical scoreboard in the sky and instead dive deep into hard psychological science and ancient, highly structured philosophy. By the end of this Explainer, I promise you're going to see your own choices and literally your own mind in a completely new light.
All right, here's the game plan for today. We're looking at 1, the cosmic vending machine. 2, action, not destiny. 3, the power of intent. 4, karma in your brain. And finally, number 5, the just world bias. Let's get right into it. So picture this. It's an incredibly relatable scenario, right? You're cruising down the highway, just minding your own business, when suddenly a sports car zooms past you. They're weaving recklessly through traffic, cutting you off so closely you literally have to slam on your brakes. Your heart is pounding, you're furious, but then, maybe a mile down the road, you see that exact same sports car pulled over on the shoulder with a police cruiser flashing its lights right behind it. Come on, admit it. A tiny, incredibly satisfying voice in your head immediately whispers, "Ha! Karma."
Section 1. The cosmic vending machine, the modern myth. We use that word all the time in our everyday slang, especially when someone gets exactly what we think they deserve. We treat karma like this, cosmic vending machine, or a supernatural referee that hands out rewards to the good guys and punches the bad guys right in the face. But guys, this is a massive simplification. What we think of as karma today is actually just a watered-down version of one of the deepest, most intricate philosophies in human history.
Now, to truly understand karma, we've got to strip away that mystical scorecard myth entirely. Translated from the ancient sacred language of Sanskrit, the word karma literally just means action or deed. That's it. It's simply the universal principle of moral cause and effect. Every single thought you think, every word you speak, every action you perform, it's essentially a seed you're planting. It is driven entirely by your own choices.
Section 2. Action, not destiny. Reclaiming free will. A really critical realization we need to make here is addressing what's probably our biggest mistake in the West. We constantly confuse karma with fate or predetermination or this inescapable destiny. We treat it like a pre-written script that we're just helplessly acting out, but honestly, that couldn't be further from the truth.
The difference between these two concepts is actually super stark. See, in ancient Hindu philosophy, fate and destiny have a completely different term, prarabdha. Karma, on the other hand, represents active free will. It's literally the exact opposite of predetermination. You're not some passive victim of destiny. Through karma, you are empowered as the active author of your life. You are creating your own future reality with every single decision you make today. And if we dig a bit deeper into ancient Hindu traditions, we can see just how intricate this continuous cycle of creation really is. Look at how this breaks down into stages. First, you have sanchita karma, which is this massive accumulation of all your past actions. Then, a portion of that becomes prarabdha karma, which is the part actively bearing fruit and shaping your current circumstances. But wait, you aren't stuck there. You also have agami karma, which is the future karma you are generating right this very second, and kriyamana karma, the immediate cause and effect loop of your daily actions. It is a dynamic, ongoing engine, not some static punishment.
Moving on to Section 3, the power of intent, the Buddhist twist. Now let's look at how Buddhism evolved this whole concept. They took this dynamic engine of action and added a really crucial psychological twist known as karma phala. While the physical action itself absolutely matters, Buddhism shifted the main focus over to the mental urge and the deep-seated motivation behind the action. In this view, your intent is the real engine of karma.
This crucial point is perfectly captured by a vivid, ancient metaphor. Think of a physical seed. If you plant a barley seed in the ground, and it gets the right soil, the right moisture, and sunlight, it's only ever going to grow a barley plant, right? It is biologically impossible for it to grow rice. In the exact same way, a virtuous, kind action driven by good intentions is a seed that can only grow a harvest of happiness. Conversely, actions driven by anger, greed, or selfishness, no matter how hard you try to justify them, can only ever yield a harvest of suffering. Before we move on to the modern science, we really need to clear up a massive historical misconception. These two words get mixed up all the time. Karma is the engine of cause and effect, but dharma? Dharma is the moral code, the cosmic order, and your duty to live a righteous life. Living in alignment with your dharma is actually the prerequisite for cultivating positive karma. So they work together beautifully, but they are very, very different things.
Section 4, karma in your brain. the cognitive science. Okay, let's completely shift the paradigm here. Let's step away from ancient spiritual texts for a minute and look at this through the lens of modern cognitive science. Why do our minds so naturally lean into this belief of cause and effect? Well, a fascinating paper published in the International Journal of Clinical and Psychology reveals that karma actually functions as a hardwired internal psychological regulator.
Here we run into a truly fascinating reality known as the Dobby effect. Think about it. When we do something we know is wrong, our brains experience intense cognitive dissonance and guilt. To resolve that inner conflict and restore our moral equilibrium, our subconscious mind will literally force us to self-sabotage. You might start making suboptimal choices, or you might interpret random bad luck as bad karma. It's a self-punishing behavior designed to balance your internal scales. Your brain is literally mimicking karmic justice against itself. How wild is that?
But let's look at the flip side, because this builds a positive neurological loop too. When you do something genuinely good, it isn't just nice, it has real biological effects. It reinforces your self-esteem and lowers your stress levels. This physiologically primes your brain to be more open and to spot positive opportunities that you might have totally missed otherwise. You then experience those newly noticed opportunities as good karma. So how you treat the world quite literally alters how your brain allows you to experience the world.
Section 5. The Just World Bias, the Selfish Mirror. Now, there is a darker, more complex side to our psychology. A groundbreaking study published by the American Psychological Association, led by Dr. Sindel White, confronted an uncomfortable truth. Humans actually weaponize karmic beliefs depending on who exactly is experiencing the luck or the misfortune.
There's a deeply hypocritical self-positivity bias at play here. The study found that when good things happen to us, we immediately attribute it to our own merit. I worked hard, I'm a good person, I earned this. But when we see other people suffering, our subconscious need to believe in a fair and just world kicks in. We assume they must have done something to deserve it. We use the concept of karma to protect our own egos and, dangerously, as an excuse to reduce our empathy for the genuine struggles of other people.
Realizing that bias is the key to transforming our worldview, and that leads us to the core takeaway of this entire explainer. Whether you are looking at it through the lens of ancient Eastern philosophy or modern cognitive science, karma proves that we are not helpless bystanders. It is the ultimate tool of accountability. The intentions we hold and the actions we take are actively building the psychological and relational reality we are going to inhabit.
So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought to take with you today. Knowing that your intentions are quite literally wiring your brain and shaping your future, look closely at your actions today and ask yourself, what kind of seed are you planting right now? Are you planting seeds of empathy and growth or seeds of judgment? Because whatever you plant today is exactly the world you will have to live in tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep learning.